Hello and welcome to 1851 Franchises Top Women in Franchising for 2024. I'm Erica Inman, and today I am joined by Alesia Visconti, CEO of FranServe. How are you doing today, Alesia?
We are doing fantastic, Erica, and thank you so much for having me on. This is really an honor, so thank you.
Thank you for coming. I love that. Can you share with us a bit about your journey to becoming a leader in franchising?
Well, it's very, very interesting. I will tell you, when I came into franchising, which is now about 10 years ago, before I was the CEO, I was actually a consultant for franchise. That's how I came into the franchising space, and I knew nothing about it. I joke I could spell the word franchise. And that was it. I didn't know anything about it, never owned a franchise, never even worked at a franchise when I was a kid. So I came in really, really green. But FranServe had great training. I was a consultant slash broker for about 2 years. And then our founder decided to retire. And I got approached because I've always, for the last 10, 15 years, been a CEO and different service companies. And I got approached, and it took me 3 seconds. He was like, "How would you like to buy my baby?" And there was nothing to think about. I love the industry. I love the franchise model. The people are very, very open, sharing their experiences. I followed people that I greatly admired, like Catherine Munson, and became a sponge, learned everything I could, and now we've grown FranServe to be the largest broker network in the world. So it's been a great journey, and I have a phenomenal, phenomenal team.
Wow, that's really impressive. What are the unique challenges and opportunities that women face in franchising?
Well, thankfully, it's changing. When I came in, and it's still, I will say, it's still very man driven, right? It's still very male driven. But when I came in, it was worse 10 years ago. So women, thankfully, are making some noise. I always say a well behaved woman rarely makes history, right? So, and if you think about it, women are so ideally matched for franchising because, well, what's the joke, right? Men never follow directions. And what is franchising? It's all about following the system, right? So women love doing that. They're great communicators. So they really enjoy training and teaching people about franchising and what the brand is all about. But I think the thing that's important is women have to own their space here in franchising. As much as I love women in franchising, I sometimes don't say I'm a woman in franchising. I say I'm a business person in franchising. And because I don't want to be a great woman leader, I want to be a great leader. So I think women really have to own their space and stand right up next to the men. No disrespect, men, but stand right up next to them because we are definitely movers and shakers in this field.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you define success in your role?
Well, everybody spells success differently, right? For some people, I call it work. People call it rather work-life balance. I always say life-work balance, but I think life should come before work. For me, it really is about empowering others to own a business. I think so many people are honestly sick of corporate America, but starting out on your own and trying to do that, man, that is a scary thing. And so they don't go down that path. They stay trapped, they have resentment. I really think that the idea of success for me is the hashtag I use all the time on social media, and that's the hashtag of changing lives. That spells success to me. The more people we can empower to follow their dreams and be franchise owners and work in franchises and find a different path that works for them and their family, that's my definition of success.
Yeah, that's awesome. What advice would you give to franchisors who are looking to empower female franchisees?
Well, you can't talk the talk, right? You got to walk the walk, and it's very easy to do the rhetoric that sounds nice, but you've got to put your money where your mouth is, and that really means on two levels. One, make sure your own team is diverse with women and inclusion. I think that's really important. So if you're pro women but you're not showing it, That really gives the message. And I think the other thing that's really important, and a lot of franchisors are not doing this. I mean, we coach them, right? The ones in our portfolio, especially, to ensure that their marketing is speaking to the right audience. And, your email messages, your pictures, your website, your newsletters. I mean, if you're trying to reach the audience, you better take a second look at what you've been using for the last 5 or 6 years, because it's not going to work now. And, it's a hard thing to do, right? But that mentality, right? You just leave it, and then you're wondering why, you're not attracting women to your brand or to your company, because your message is old, right? So that's something that I challenge CEOs of businesses and franchising all the time. Make sure you're putting out the message, right? Because I always say your vibe attracts your tribe.
Oh, I love that saying. What advice do you have for any women aiming to enter the franchise industry for the first time?
It can be a little intimidating, right? So when you're first coming in, especially if you were like me, don't know, you didn't know anybody, you had no franchise pedigree. The great thing about franchising is, franchising is probably my fifth industry. And what I love the most about it, I think, is everybody wants to help. I mean, we call it the Fran fam, because in most industries, you don't share. You're very, tight to the vest. But in franchising, we recognize that this is a really special community and a very special business model. So I think women just have to raise their hand. Get out there. Sometimes you go to a networking thing and you're like, I don't know anyone. Just say hi. We're all there to network, right? So you can say you're new in franchising. Everybody will embrace you. So I think it's I always say the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? And women who men will go in and just start shaking hands and making noise, and women want to sometimes be more polite. Or I'm a Jersey girl. I can be right up there in people's faces in a nice way. At least I hope so. I hope it's taken that way. But I am a disruptor, and I think women need to be disruptors. We're taught to be humble. We're taught to be in the back and kind and passive. And no, ladies, get up there, man. Make some changes in the world. And I will say, I'm a big believer in the International Franchise Association, the IFA. Lots of women involved in that. So women, when you get involved in franchising, jump into the IFA. There's a whole mess of us that are there to greet you.
Yeah, that's great. Is there anything else you think our audience should know?
Well, I will say this, and I'll circle it back to what I was saying at the beginning. I came into franchising not knowing anything. And as I said, we've the great team, great brands, great brokers. I mean, we built it to be number one. Today, we just literally got told by Inc. magazine that we were named one of the fastest growing private companies in America. So we just announced that on LinkedIn today. So we're all very excited. So I'm going to say this to you, ladies. If I could do that, so can you.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's really great. But that's all I had for you today, Alesia. And thank you for joining us and sharing, all about your journey and experience.
Thank you so much, Erica. And I will say to you and everyone else, have a fantastic day.